Hello and welcome on in. Today I'm going to be talking about the fixes for Ghost Flame and Dive Bomb, and actually more about what it means to nerf something in the middle of a cycle, when I think it should be done and when I think it shouldn't be done. So first up, Ghost Flame. Spirit Kindling would apply to the player if it had previously hit a Wraith and was not currently hitting a Wraith. This is being fixed. In short, you got a bunch of free damage that you shouldn't have had. Dive Bomb. Cloud Gatherer meant Infinite Smoke Bomb. Infinite Smoke Bomb meant Infinite Ward Battery, and it was causing performance issues. I think these two are interesting. This is a very black and white one. If it's crashing servers, you have to fix it. In this case, it's very powerful, and it's a bug. It doesn't necessarily crash servers, at least not from what they're saying here. Could be that it actually does, and it's being fixed. Should it be fixed? Yes. 100% it should be fixed. And ideally, there should be very public advance notice of like, hey, if you're playing a Ghost Flame build, here's a few days you can get on your feet, swapping stuff around, fixing your gear so that, after a bug's fixed, you're not just out of luck. That's one thing that when Torchlight Infinite or XD was handling bugs, they kind of misstepped with, where they fixed something without any advance notice. People log in, their builds just bricked. People were playing, it was hot fixed, their builds just bricked. Let players know. It feels really bad for your build to just not working anymore. It feels a lot better to say, hey, this was a bug. This is how the bug works. It's not intended. So we're fixing it. Now, they say they are not doing a mid-cycle balance change with Profane Veil's Vampiric Blood node, which in my opinion is a huge mistake, because that node is literally 10 times stronger than it should be. It gives you way more word than you should have, and it leads to game warping consequences, where, let's just to pick a random number out of a hat, EHG expects the average build to perform well at 1,000 corruption. And with Profane Veil, it can go to 10,000 or 12,000. All of a sudden, every build that's not bugged, that's performing as intended, looks really bad by comparison. If you're a casual player, you're like, what's the best build? Profane Veil, Vampiric Blood Warlock. Why? Because you can stand at everything. You don't need to learn boss mechanics. And I think it's going to feel a lot worse for people. I know it'd certainly feel a lot worse for me if this was left in the game and then taken away at the start of the next cycle, rather than it being fixed right now. Because it's still a strong node at 4%. At 4%, you can still build around it. It's still good. The Bone Curse stuff probably still works. If not, you can use, Ghostmaker and Eat Wraiths. There's plenty of ways to build it, but it's not 10 times more effective, and it doesn't give you pseudo invulnerability up to ridiculously high corruption. Now, I'm going to be showcasing a Warlock build. For that showcase, I've decided to not use the bug and showcase it in the video. Some people are going to say, hey, your build's shit, because I'm not doing that. But here's the thing. My gut feeling here is they're going to change their mind on this. And if they don't, maybe I'm wrong. But if they don't, my video's hopefully still going to be relevant 4-6 months from now when this is fixed, instead of being completely irrelevant because I used a bug, and because without the bugged interaction, a lot of my choices don't make sense, i.e., if I'm using a bugged interaction, I get a ton of ward, maybe I don't need resistances, maybe I don't need life, I don't need those other defenses because I have infinite permanently recharging ward just by running over a couple of minions. Here's the other important thing. And this is where I'm going to have a call to action. Yeah. This is not the call to action in the go buy a thing. This is, the stance is open to feedback and not carved in stone. If there's a high demand to fix bugs or make changes that affect balance mid-cycle, they can adjust. So, if you feel like it is not okay that this bug exists in the game, or if you feel like it is worse overall for the game to have the bug just left until the next cycle, then definitely go on their forums, reply to this, go on their Discord, be polite, be constructive. Don't just go, oh, game sucks, dev bad. No. Say, I want you to fix the bugs. Because honestly, I want them to fix the bugs. Now, are there cases where maybe I don't want them to fix the bugs? Yes, those cases are when the bug is not super powerful, impacting stuff, warping the game, and also it would completely destroy someone's build. So let's just pretend here that there was a bug and that was the only way to play, I don't know, Rive. And that Rive really isn't good even with the bug, but it's okay. You can do some stuff. Maybe you top out at 500 corruption. That's a case where I'd say it causes more harm to nerf those builds completely out of viability than to fix the bug. Because even if Profane Veil is fixed, sure, you won't be blasting at 2,000 or 3,000 corruption. You'll have to use your corruption reset. But Torment Warlock's still really good. Blade Warlock's still really good. You can still do a lot of awesome stuff on Warlock. It's strong, and it feels strong. And hey, you're free to disagree. Maybe all bugs should be fixed always, immediately, ever. And in terms of actual just balance adjustments mid-cycle, personally, I don't really think they should do too many of those, unless, again, it is the case of outliers. A good example of this, a change that I very much agreed with, was when GGG did a mid-cycle nerf to the most powerful build of the game, Aura Stacker. This was when Cluster Jewels allowed you to get absurd Aura effect, and it was still an S tier build. It was still an S tier build to the point where no other build in PoE was above a B tier within that season, or that league, or that cycle. For stuff like that, yes. For everything else, I think you should fix bugs, but not do balance changes when everything is working as intended, and you just got the numbers a little bit wrong. But that's my opinion. And of course, you're free to have yours. In fact, you're free to share yours down in the comments. But again, remember, like sharing feedback with EHG, keep it instructive, keep it polite. And here they go into a little bit more of their logic. So, will existing entries be removed from the leaderboards? They're saying, no, they won't be removing. Then what's the point of a competitive leaderboard? Like, leaderboards are kind of a joke if bugged builds can just sit at the top and no one is ever going to be able to beat them. So, this part right here, yes, it has a huge negative choice. If you are having a competitive mode in your game, it needs to be regulated in a competitive manner. Then there's this part. And, okay, so the bad behavior is players are going to keep bugs a secret until the very end of a cycle. First of all, I guarantee you that some people will, yes. But if anyone else finds out about it, there are so many people who the first thing they'll do is they'll hop on Twitter and go, guys, guess what I found? Or they'll make a YouTube video. They'll talk about it on their stream. They will make content on it to show it off, either A, because they think it's really cool, B, because everyone loves seeing super overpowered bug builds, or D, I guess I skipped B there, but whatever. D, because that's the best way to get it fixed. Bringing bugs into the light of day, bringing them to the devs' attention, gets them fixed. So, I think this is a huge mistake, and it means that they might as well just remove the leaderboards from Arena entirely. That if you have a competitive leaderboard, you need to keep it competitive. If people, use bugs, they need to be removed from the leaderboard. Now, there are cases, again, where I do think some caution should be used, i.e., if it is impossible to know that the bug is there, if everything seems to be working intended, it's just a little bit stronger, I could see giving a little bit of leeway to make good judgment calls in concert with the community, in concert with keeping open communication. This is not that case. These are very blatant examples. And in terms of all this, I mean, should they be banning people? No. I think banning people in this case would be going too far. Removing them from the leaderboard is the minimum that should be done. Then this has been known. Why is it only changing now? We're willing to live with a node being imbalanced. I agree to an extent. Like I've said, imbalanced is in a build that should be A tiers, S tier. Okay. If a build is quadruple S tier, it's probably made by Ubisoft. They spent $200 million. They're revolutionizing builds with it. No, you got to fix that stuff. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised this was causing server issues. I do think they should go a little farther in fixing bugs. that are very imbalanced, like with Profane Veil. And then this one, the idealist in me says, yeah, they should fix it in a way that keeps it, but it's not as powerful. I agree. But I also completely understand that it's not that easy. That when it comes to game dev, you can't just go magic fix button. If you could, well, then I think games would be a lot better. So it takes time. That time takes away from new content. I agree. That said, I do think there are times where things can be fixed and kept powerful without being game breaking. A good example of this is the Profane Veil bug, where, okay, 4% to me sounds really powerful, but maybe after doing some testing, EHG decides 4% is a little too weak. We will put it back to 4% at the end of a cycle, but because people have been enjoying it, because we want them to have a good time with the powerful thing they've been enjoying, we're going to put it at 6% or 8% until then. That, assuming it is as simple as changing a number, because they'd have to fix the applying 10 times as much to fix the bug anyway, just change the number from 4 to 6 or 8 to keep it powerful. In a situation like that, I would be in favor of it as long as they are extremely transparent about that. And also as long as the community doesn't go ballistic when it's removed, because if people go ballistic, then that's why we can't have nice things, which is why I always like these, hopefully, much more level-headed discussions instead of just going with, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. With that said, if you like having more civil and level-headed discussions, do be sure to get subscribed. Maybe leave a like while you're down there. And then, like I said, head over, let EHG know what you want to happen with the Profane Veil bug. And that's about it for me today. So, thank you very much for watching to the end. A big thanks to the patrons and channel members for the continued support. You might see some of their names going by on screen right now. I hope you found this deep dive into the patch notes, my thoughts, a little bit interesting. I guess I didn't cover the patch notes too much. That's because, honestly, I think the bug fix part is much more important. It's part of the direction for the game going forward, so that's what I wanted to focus on. So, I guess I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully the next one's about how the Profane Veil bug is getting fixed.